Aquapilates, a theory of rehabilitation and quality of life. Aquapilates it is a creative adaptation of Pilates practice to the aquatic environment. In this context of developed a creative adaptation, it's important to preserve the elements of the basic technique in order to elaborate in something in another environment. In this case, the aquatic environment, while preserve the extension of the original work. We can cite Watsu as an example, which is based on Shiatsu. Nowadays, Watsu is quite different from Shiatsu, but it had Shiatsu as its basic to start with. Aquapilates it is a program that perfectly adapts the authentic Pilates movements to the aquatic environment. It took years of work for this adaptation to be accepted, especially by Orthodox Pilates practitioners. I have the impression that the work is better understood and is growing in various parts of the world with different names, such as WaterPilates and Hydropilates, according to the idiosyncrasies of each place. Aquapilates is the adaptation of the principle of the Pilates method, which are control, breathing, concentration, centering, precision, and flow, to the physical principle of water, such as density, buoyancy, hydrostatic pressure, viscosity, turbulence, surface tension, and refraction. What is Pilates? Before talking about Aquapilates, it is important to talk about Pilates. Let's mention some nomenclatures given to the Pilates method. Pilates is a physical activity methodology designed to build a healthy body and mind through well-designed biomechanical corrective movements. Usually, a therapist is needed to perform them. However, Aquapilates is completely different from Watsu, for example. That's what attracted me to this technique is I can balance my body and that of my patients. Occasionally, the body needs close attention and care, like in Watsu, and sometimes it needs strong physical and mental condition, like in Pilates. Designed by German-born Joseph Humbert Pilates in the 1920s to 1960, Joseph Pilates studied and practiced various forms of physical activities and became interested in the connection between body and mind. During World War I, he began using his technique to rehabilitate soldiers. In the 1920s, he moved to the United States and opened a Pilates studios in New York City, which became very popular among dancers and athletes. Pilates continued to teach and refine his technique until his death in 1967. Pilates is a somatic body training that uses unique and specific equipment based on six fundamental principles, aiming to connecting the body and mind to the state of fullness. The principles of a technique are fundamental to establish the foundations and basis of the technique itself. They are like the basic rules that guide the practice of the technique, provide consistent and cohesion in its application. Furthermore, the principles also allow the technique to evolve and adapt it to different contexts and needs, without losing its original essence and purpose. They serve as a guide for practice, helping to maintain the quality and effectiveness of the technique over time. Pilates is simple, the technique that every individual in this world should practice, sick or healthy, young or old, without exception. Pilates is the most complete technique that a man could have created in this world. The statement is a big fanatic, but it is also a strong endorsement of Pilates' method, claiming that everyone should practice it regardless of their age or health condition. It's suggesting that Pilates is a comprehensive technique that offers benefits to everyone. Pilates is a recognized technique for the treatment and prevention of spinal problems. The method is also effective for improving others skills such as flexibility, body warmth, balance, muscular endurance, and for the rehabilitation of injuries and education of movements. Pilates is a method that primarily deals with body biomechanics, making it useful for various types of disorders and pathologies. Almost everyone can benefit from practicing Pilates at some point in their life. The method emphasizes correct alignment, breathing, and controlled movements to improve strength, flexibility, balance, and coordination. Pilates exercises can be adapted to individuals' needs and abilities, making it accessible to people of all ages and fitness level. As a result, it has become a popular form of exercise and rehabilitation around the world. Pilates is practiced worldwide, and its popularity has been increasing as it has become the preferred training method for celebrities and the music, film, and dance industries. Additionally, its benefits are widely promoted on social media. Pilates has gained a lot of popularity worldwide, with millions of people practicing it regularly. Only reason for this popularity is that Pilates is an effective and safe form of exercise that can be adapted to meet the needs of different peoples, including the athletes, seniors, and those with injuries or chronic condition. Pilates has become increasingly popular among celebrities and music, film, and dance industries, who appreciate the method's ability to improve posture, flexibility, and overall fitness. As a result, it has received a lot of media attention, contributing to its widespread recognition. In recent years, social media has played a significant role in promoting Pilates and its benefits. Many fitness influencers and trainers share their Pilates workouts and tips on platforms such as Instagram and YouTube, making it more accessible to people around the world. To understand the Pilates is relatively easy. You just need to understand what its principles are and how to apply them to each movement during practice. By learning these principles, such as control, breathing, concentration, centering, precision, and flow, you'll be able to improve your technique and achieve more effective results. Regular practice will also help increase your body awareness, improve your posture, and increase your strength and flexibility. In Pilates, proper breathing techniques can help alleviate tension in the body. Breathing should be synchronized with the rhythm of movements to prevent breathing holding during an exercise. By using controlled, intentional breaths, you can better engage your core muscles and achieve a greater sense of relaxation throughout your practice. Additionally, focus on your breathing can help you stay present in the moment and enhance the mind-body connection that is integral to Pilates. Control is a necessary principle for all others to happen. By controlling the movements, the possibility of injuries in reducing and the alignment and coordination of the spine are improved. The focus of any Pilates exercise is to take the body autopilot mode. Control is one of the key principles of Pilates, and it's often considered the foundation for all other principles. When we talk about control in Pilates, we're referring to the ability to maintain precise and deliberate movements throughout each exercise. This control helps to reduce the risks of injuries and improve alignment and coordination of the spine. To achieve control, Pilates emphasizes the use of slow and controlled movements rather than quick and jerky ones. This requires a great deal of focus and concentration as you must constantly be aware of your movements and adjust accordingly. By doing so, you can learn to take your body out of autopilot. Concentrations is related to focus and effort necessary for the proper execution of the exercises, their effectiveness, and the consequent learning. Concentration is a crucial aspect of Pilates practice, as it is closely related to focus and effort, which are necessary for the proper execution of exercises and their effectiveness. In Pilates, concentrations involve actively engaging your mind to stay present and focus on the movements and the sensations of your body. Moreover, concentration is also linked to the learning processes in Pilates. As you become more proficient in your practice, you can refine your movements and engage different muscle groups with greater precision. Pilates primarily exercises the core muscle of the body, including the rectus abdominis, transversal abdominis, gluteus maximus, internal and external obliques, and lumbar muscle. Strengthening these muscles, collectively referred to as the powerhouse, forms the foundation of a centering in Pilates. Centering is one of the key principles of Pilates, and it involves bringing your focus and attention to the center of your body, specifically the powerhouse. In Pilates, precision is essential to achieve the best results. Precision is related to the correct and objective execution of movements. Each exercise is designed to work specific muscles in the body, and precision in the execution of these movements ensures that the target muscle is actually being worked. There is only one way to do things the right way. Joseph Pilates advocated for the idea that movements in Pilates classes should be performed with lightness, attention, and fluidity, always in a harmonious and controlled manner. This approach brings awareness to the board, focused on complete and correct execution rather than speed. Pilates exercises are designed to be performed with precision and control, prioritizing the quality of the movement rather than its speed. And Anthony was one of the first professionals to talk about adapting Pilates for water. She developed a system of elastic bands and sold them for people to practice at home. In this case, a complete adaptation had not yet been achieved because the principles of water were not fully utilized. Carol Argus also attempted to adapt Pilates to the water and aided in the development of aquatic fitness and dance. She went to Brazil to teach, but people had difficulty understanding her work due to differences in Latin culture, and many gave up on the idea. Patricia Rodriguez Gonzalez was my initial teacher and mentor who taught me in Mexico and later gave me some courses in Brazil. But she was also not well received, unfortunately, because Patricia is great at giving water Pilates classes, but teaching a class is one thing, but a course is different. Fernando Villaverde is a recognized fitness instructor in Argentina who taught several courses in Brazil, and he knows better how Brazilians do things. He succeeded in forming about 5 classes, and I was present as his assistant in all 5 classes. Well, uh, while the previous instructors had a fitness-oriented approach and the rehabilitation aspect was not being addressed, so I decided to make it the necessary adaptation and develop various movements and concepts, dedicating myself for years to water Pilates, aqua Pilates. And now, some characteristics of a aqua Pilates or water Pilates. The aquatic environment emerges as a relevant physical principles that expand the possibilities of the Pilates methodology. The aquatic environments offer a unique set of challenges and benefits for Pilates practitioners. As you mentioned, the instability of the water constantly challenges the individual to control their body and movements. This instability also requires a heightened sense of proprioception and core stabilization, as the body must constantly adjust to maintain balance and control. Aquapilates subject the practitioner to control their whole body in a liquid environment and the unstable environment that constantly develops new possibilities and resources while preserving the legitimacy of just Pilates ontology. It combines the advantages of water with the pleasure of movements, promoting greater concentration. Some people who do not have the condition to perform physical activity can be encouraged more easily to improve their health condition through water exercise. Aquapilates aim to adapt the body to a gentle, playful, and challenging environment without giving the perception of how the body can involve with the use of the physical principles of water. In general, anyone can do Pilates. The training program is simple and suitable for everyone, whether professional, athlete, or sedentary person, regardless of age. The body is trained with exercise, postures, and movements, building a strong and consistent core that contributes to the good posture, improves breathing, increasing energy, productivity, and appearance, among other benefits. Pilates focus on body awareness, paying attention to what happens to your body when you perform the movement. The perception of each muscle's area activity during the exercise. The alignment of the body, how the shoulder, head, and hips are positioned. The goal of Pilates method is to achieve a right level of functional performance according to each individual's correct physical conditions. The music, the beautiful of movements, and the playful atmosphere that this method provides make a difference, in addition to the fantastic results. Professional can be used Aquapilates for work, rehabilitation professionals, physical educators, Pilates instructors, fitness trainers, personal trainers, dancers, athletes, among others. Pilates is a tool that can be used by physical therapists. Aquapilates encourages the practitioner to control their body in an aquatic environment, which is an unstable environment that constantly changes. The progress is systematic, especially for patients with some weakness or deficiency. Exercise in aquatic environments reduces pressure on the spine, which is a relief for the work of the tonic postural muscles. The multidimensional resistance facilitates the balance of agonist-antagonist muscles. Gentle practice for joints and muscles, which affects in an increase in joints range of motion. Greater concentration and control are obtained, movements are more fluid, and there is precision in controlling breathing, which are the basic principles of the technique. The practice of water Pilates has no severe contraindications. It respects the individuality of performance and creates a challenger according to the cognitive and motor abilities of the practitioner. Here we see a comparison considering the therapeutic goals between Pilates and WaterPilates. Water Pilates and Watsu are entirely different, but let's make the same comparison to decide which tool to use in patient care. On behalf of the Latin League of Aquatic Physiotherapy, I would like to express my gratitude and I am available to answer any question. Thank you.